Hi guys. So my name's Justin. None of you probably know me right now. This is the first time I'm ever doing anything like this, but so I really don't know where to start. But I guess I'll just tell you my coming out story. I came out my freshman year of high school, I think, and I came out to my mom. She was upstairs doing laundry and I was vacuuming downstairs. And I don't know why I chose then to do it, but I guess I just couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't deal with not telling her. And my mom seemed like the more reasonable person to tell. She seemed the easiest to tell. So I finally get up the courage to go upstairs and tell her. I go upstairs, she's folding the laundry, and I pull her aside and I go, "Mom, I have something to tell you." And immediately I started to cry, like I always do. It took me a bit to tell her. I tried stalling myself, I guess. And she kind of says, like, "All right, what do you need to tell me? Come on, just say it." So I told her, it's like, "Mom, I'm gay." Now, when I first told her that, she didn't really... I don't really know how she reacted at that, like what she thought at that time. She seemed confused and worried, I guess. I don't know. She seemed more confused than anything. She started asking me questions like, "How do you know?" Why do you think you're gay? And then I don't know, for me it was something I couldn't really answer. I didn't know how to answer it because no one's ever asked me anything like that before. She wasn't the first person I told though, but that was my neighbor. My neighbor Kane. He was the first person I told. I told him on the bus, on a school bus. I don't know why I did that, but it ended up working out alright. He didn't believe me at first. He thought I was joking. We got off the bus and he still thought I was joking. So when I got home, I sent him a text message saying, "Hey, I wasn't joking. I am serious. I am gay." And so he responded with, "Okay." I was too nervous to go and talk to him for a while. I didn't sit next to him on the bus. I didn't take the bus for a while. But when I did, he seemed okay with it. He's still my best friend today. We're not neighbors anymore. I haven't moved back home since I went to college. I actually moved into a place, not the best place to move into, but I moved into a place of my own. But getting back to my story. So my mom was confused. She kept asking me questions like, "How do you know? Are you sure?" And I kept answering with her, "I don't know how to answer. Like, I don't know how to tell you how I know. I just do. And yes, I'm sure. I'm positive." But I guess she did what most mothers do that are confused and stuff. She researched. She went online and she looked up, like, what do you do if you have a gay son? I can't really say every mother, but she did that. She confronted me about that. Again, I didn't know what to say because I was, I guess, accepting it myself, too. But she kept coming up to me and talking to me about it. And I told her, it's like, I don't want to keep trying to tell you how I know or why. She finally got that I didn't want to keep talking about that. Like, I just wanted her to be okay with it and love me for who I am. And she understood. So, she didn't talk to me about it for a while. For a long time, actually. About 5 months later, she comes to talk to me again about it and says that she's talked to my uncles who are gay. She told them about me and what I have said, so she went to them for advice. She comes back and says, it's like they really couldn't tell me much, but she wanted me to know that if I needed someone to talk to about it, that they're more than willing to talk to me. But I never really talked to them about it because I didn't need anyone to talk to about it. I already knew myself. I didn't need anyone telling me who I am. So, well, I told her that. So, I guess that was that. And my freshman year of college, I find someone. His name was Aaron. It was actually, I'm glad that I met him. Well, I'm still with him, so of course I'm glad I met him. But I told my mom after a few months of being with him, and she was happy for me. She was okay with everything. But one thing that came from her that I didn't expect to happen was she told everyone. Even people I hadn't come out to yet. She told my sister, my dad, and all of my relatives over in Connecticut. I had no idea. I had no idea that she told them. I found out that she told my dad because last year I came out to my dad. I wish I did it better, and I wish I did it sooner. I sent him a text message. Wasn't really the best text message to send. I was just telling him that there's a person I've been dating. I love this person, and I've been with him for 7 months. That's how I told him. I get a response. I was so nervous on what he was going to say. I don't know why. I knew he'd accept me. I mean, his brother's gay, so. But I was still very nervous. I get a text message a few minutes later saying, I know, Mom told me. She told me over the winter. Which, that took me by surprise because why would she do that? Then I found out that she didn't know. My dad didn't know. So, I guess that was a weight off my shoulder. Then I go and tell my sister. I get a response with, I know, Mom told me. I'm like, alright. I guess that works. Now the biggest surprise was when I went to the next family party over down in Connecticut. That one took me by surprise. I showed up there, and all of my aunts and uncles were wondering where Aaron was, and I'm like, how do you know about Aaron? It's like, I guess my mom spread the word or something. It was either my mom, my uncle, or my dad. But I think my mom was the one who told them. I never really confronted her. I was upset for a while that she told everyone, because I wanted to be the one to tell them, because I needed that comfort knowing whether they immediately accepted me for who I am, that they're still going to love me no matter what. But I'm okay with it now. I'm okay that she told them. But one person she didn't tell them. Three people that she didn't tell them. Her mother, my grandmother, and my dad's parents, my grandparents down in Florida. She did not tell them. So I told my mom's mother, my grandmother, first. She lives in a nursing home. She has Alzheimer's and dementia, so I know they say when you're coming out to a family member, not to bring, like if you have a boyfriend, not to bring your boyfriend. But seeing she had Alzheimer's and dementia, I thought it would be best to bring him. Because if I didn't bring him, there really wouldn't be an introduction, because I'd always have to come out to her every time. I still do. She never remembers. She doesn't remember who he is. But when I first told her, she brought me down to tears because of what she said. She was laying in bed, and I was sitting on the bed, and I told her, it's like, I need to tell you something, and it's very important. You see this person right here, Aaron? And she goes, yeah? Well, he's more than just a friend. I've been dating him for about 7 or 8 months. I can't remember when I told her. So she looked at me. She didn't say anything for a minute or two. I didn't want to rush her, because I was told that's not to do that, because if you rush them, they can get upset. So after I told her, and after a couple minutes, she then said, "Are you happy?" And I go, "Yes, I'm very happy." She goes, "Okay, that's what I care about most. I've always cared about whether you're happy." I mean, she did take care of me a lot. Every time I was sick, I'd always be at her house. She'd be the one taking care of me because I had nowhere else to go. So that was a huge weight off my shoulder, because I knew that she accepted me for who I am, and that she still loved me no matter what, just as much as she did before. Now, coming out to my grandparents on my dad's side, that was harder. That was much harder to do, because they're very religious people, and they don't really accept the fact that there are homosexuals around. They don't agree that that we should be able to get married. They don't agree with my lifestyle. But I want to say a month ago, not really got up the courage. I started getting upset, depressed. Which I don't know why I did. And I got worried, because I wanted to introduce the rest of the family to Aaron. And doing that, there's usually a party every summer down in Connecticut, and my grandparents usually show up. That's when I was going to bring him. And I started thinking, it's probably not the best idea to do that without my grandparents knowing. I didn't know how they were going to react. I did not want them to react badly in front of him. I didn't care if they accepted me or not. I wanted them to know either way. I don't regret telling them, not one bit. If things went differently, I still wouldn't regret it. I somehow lucked out with that, though. My grandparents, I called up my grandmother. I made sure my grandfather was in the same room. I then had to teach her over the phone how to put it on speaker. That took about 10 minutes from the phone call. So, once they got onto speakerphone, I told her, it's like, do you love me? She goes, yes. No matter what? Of course. Even if what I have to say goes against everything you believe in, will you still love me? She said, of course. But this time, it was in a worried voice. And she goes, what happened? What's wrong? I go, nothing's wrong. But something has happened to me in my life. Something very good for me. Something that I'm okay with, that I've learned to accept. She goes, well, what is it? Like, what happened? She got a little frustrated because I wasn't telling her. So I finally got the guts to say that I was gay. My grandfather didn't hear me. So he's saying, what? Like, what'd you say? My grandmother. She goes, he said he's gay. She seemed kind of upset. She seemed angry. So I got nervous. I got scared. I thought she was going to have a bad reaction. But a couple minutes later, the reaction I got wasn't what I expected. I thought she'd be upset at me. I thought that she'd be furious. She had one thing to say, and that was so. That's all she said. So. I didn't know what to say to that. I was like, is there anything you need to say? She goes, not really. Are you okay? I'm like, yes, I'm okay. She goes, and you're happy? I go, yes. Well, that's what I care about. I want you to be happy. So, of course, I started to cry. Then she was asking me all sorts of questions, like, how are things going? I said, everything's going good. Where are you living? And I go, I'm living in Biddeford right now. It's next to where I used to live. Well, the town over from where I used to live. And she goes, oh, who are you living with? And I was like, I'm living with my boyfriend. I've been living with him for a year now. I moved into a house over in Old Orchard for a little bit, but rent was a bit too steep, so we found this place over in Biddeford. It's a nice place. Not really. I mean, we're next to a pizza place. I guess that's good. But also terrible at the same time. So I tell her that I'm living here. She goes, okay. And then she said she had to go. I haven't heard from her since, but I don't really talk to her all that much. I was supposed to see her at the party over down in Connecticut, but I found out that she's not going to be coming. They're not coming. So there's not going to be the big party, because they usually have a party when they come up. Which I was kind of upset about that, because that's when I was going to introduce everyone to him. Which, I guess if this video goes well, I'll introduce you guys to him too. In due time. But I guess that's my coming out story. And if anyone wants more, I guess I'll make some more videos. But until then, bye.